Coming up on this episode of Don't Panic, we've got the week's tech news, including Fitbit's new smartwatch, Nest's new E, and Apple Event Alert. It's coming up. Stick around. It's time for Don't Panic. This is Don't Panic, episode number 174, recorded September 4th, 2017. Discounted avocados. Hello, everybody. Welcome to this episode of Don't Panic, the technology podcast that is ready to kick off the football season by talking about technology. I'm Sean Jennings, joined as always by two guys who know their way around a bar. It is Colby Rabidou and Dan Miller. I'm pointing to the wrong guys, but you get the idea. How are we doing, gentlemen? You know, I just thought of something before we started here. Do you know this? My whole like reference of how fast time moves has been like permanently demolished since November 8th, 2016. And do you know the last time we did this show, we started by talking about the eclipse? Remember the eclipse? No, you don't?
Yeah.
It seems so long ago.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
What has happened? That was, how long ago was that?
That was
like
2 weeks ago. Well, we didn't do one
last.
last week. I think that's why.
Okay.
But even the eclipse seems like a year ago. Like it seems like forever.
Yeah.
Like for
I have like a
completely
fuzzy memory of like borrowing someone's eclipse glasses and like standing in a crowd of people outside of our office.
Is that
like,
because
looking
your
up at the
whole
sky.
vision is fuzzy now?
It could be, yeah. They were faulty eclipse glasses. They said they were certified, but they clearly weren't because I can't see anything anymore.
No, the big mistake you got, SOBAR glasses. Got to watch those letters. Anyway, I digress. What's going on, gentlemen? What's the good word?
Nothing. What did I do today? I went to the grocery store.
What?
I was in Rhode Island in
Me
the morning.
too.
Yeah. Oh my god, it was insane.
It was nice.
So I feel like it's a thing that like you shouldn't go to the grocery store on Sunday afternoon, because it's a busy time. But it's not Sunday, so I was like, well, maybe it's like not like a Sunday because it's Monday. It was crazy. So the closest grocery store to me is like a city Trader Joe's. It's in a basement, and it was so full. The line for the cash register just went around the entire store. So you just got in line to pay and like went by the things you needed to buy as you waited to leave.
Damn.
It was crazy. It actually, in a weird way, it was all right. Like it took a while because I was standing in line, but it had none of the normal chaos of the grocery store where like someone's in the way or like.
Yeah, so did you just get in line and then grab things as you wrapped around? Oh,
pretty
okay.
much, yeah. It like. Honestly, it went around the whole store. It is a very small Trader Joe's, but
Yeah. I went to the Trader Joe's in Union Square in New York one time, and it had the exact same thing. The line was wrapped around the entire store.
I've gone to that Trader Joe's 2 other times, and there was like nobody in there, but it was later at night, and it wasn't on the day before the work week started. So
Yeah. The trick is to go Sunday morning.
Yeah.
Morning grocery shopping is the best, or really late night.
Well, that's what
Yeah, I haven't done
I've
really
gone at,
late
like,
night since
8 o'clock.
college.
It's so
okay,
quiet.
That's not really late.
Yeah, it was a Tuesday though, so
Hey,
I don't
have
know.
you ever gone to a 24-hour supermarket at like midnight or 1 a.m.?
How late was the Stop and Shop in Poughkeepsie open?
That's a good question.
I went there pretty late.
It's very spooky. It's very, and they're usually restocking the shelves.
Yeah, I've definitely been in CVS's at like 2 or 3 in the morning. In fact, I was in one CVS recently at that hour where they only had one person who worked in the store.
Mm-hmm.
So they were standing by the door doing like property loss prevention, and then if someone came in, then they would check you out.
No, they're getting their money's worth.
Crazy, yeah. Well,
Excellent. And because you guys were both off today, right? Is that true?
I
yes.
think so. I didn't go to work today. I did not check the official company calendar just so I didn't know we had the day off. See, now I'm pretty sure that we get Labor Day off, but like
You're pretty sure.
in July for years. I worked at HubSpot for three 4th of Julys now, and I just always assumed that we had the Monday of 4th of July off because like you get the Monday off, right? But like, no, we don't. I mean,
Is that because
I
of
don't know.
Patriots Day?
No, I just assumed that that's what happened. That's what we always had in school. But like, I guess it's not the case.
I,
Because And that's what I did. Like, I just didn't go to work. And then I happened to look at the holiday wiki later and was like, oh, I was supposed to work that day.
I'd like to imagine like all the higher ups at HubSpot when it comes to like these sort of like St. Patrick's Day or Valentine's or like these sort of like B-level holiday, President's Day. They just assume Colby's not going to be there. They're just like, it's not a holiday, but I guess Colby can just take it because he's not going to show up anyway.
Well, the other alternative is that like my job is so irrelevant to day-to-day operations of the company that no one notices when I just don't show up.
When you're at work tomorrow, I hope everyone's like, "No, Colby, I definitely saw you yesterday. Like, I'm pretty sure we had a discussion yesterday."
Right. I think like either way, it's fine. But if it's the second one, like if it's that my job is irrelevant, I hope no one realizes that my job is irrelevant and replaces me. I'd like to continue.
You're basically
coasting.
You're basically Big Head on Silicon Valley.
Exactly.
Where you just hang out on the roof and nobody notices you're not there. That's pretty sweet. That's a good gig, man. If I could get the holidays like that off,
it is the dream.
It's a way to do it.
Mm-hmm.
Good.
Anyways, I can report back next week as to.
Yeah, please let us know if you're still employed.
Yeah,
we would like to know.
Hopefully.
So, I have a bit of a network question. So there is a new winner of the movie draft.
Yes.
Spoiler alert: it wasn't me. I won a
Definitely
prize
not.
of sorts. I achieved an accolade.
What accolade
but
is that, Dan?
my question is, who won the movie draft, and who are the winners so far in the history of Coffee and Beer movie draft? Because I was realizing I can only remember two.
Well, that's an excellent question, Dan. Good corporate synergy. A+.
Thank you.
That's what we strive for here. You're a good employee, better than Colby. So, for those who haven't been paying attention, the Up for Debate podcast that I do with Matt, we do our movie leagues, where twice a year we do a winter one and a summer one. We get 6 players and we draft movies. And when you draft a movie, you get their domestic box office numbers. We total it up at the end of the season, and the person with the highest total gets the prize, gets a trophy and the credit of being the winner. Now, this was the third time we've done it, the 2017 summer edition, which just ended. Dan, I can give you a little history here. 2016 summer was the first year we did it. We only had 5 players, and I was one of them that year.
Mm-hmm.
You came in last that year with $508 million, and I won. And I won with what still holds as the single highest individual total with $1.1 billion. I just want to point that out. I gotta say.
So actually, I didn't do better this year. I did worse this year.
Well, okay, but one other thing, and the reason why that 1.1 billion will probably never be hit is because we only had 5 players, so everyone had more movies, so the totals were going to be higher. So, but that being said, Colby came in 3rd out of 5 that year. Then we did the 2016 winter, which we were to our 6-player format. I did not play. Dan, you came in last with what still holds the record as the lowest amount a player has ever earned in a season, with $298 million. Let me, and can I just take the opportunity to remind you of Dan's slate of movies he had in this winter draft that holds the low record. Bad Santa 2, The Comedian, Triple X 3, The Return of Xander Cage, Great Wall with Matt Damon, Patriots Day with Marky Mark Wahlberg, and horror film Get Out, which he only got as a replacement for The Dark Tower. Which
now, how much money did The Dark Tower make? If I had that, and it did just as poorly this summer as it did.
You got lucky, and actually, I think that we had 2 or 3 movies replaced in the winter, and everyone I think did better with their replacements because Get Out, which you got credit for, made $156 million. The Dark Tower made $47 million. So you got an upgrade on that one.
Okay,
congratulations.
Makes me feel better.
And in the winter draft, like I said, Dan came in last, Colby came in 4th, and Matt won the winter draft,
Ah, okay.
the winter league. Now, this summer we just completed it.
Summer.
This summer. We just completed it. We can officially announce what happened. In last place, Dan, again, holding the record. The only
am the
person
most
to ever be
consistent
last. No one has
player.
ever else been last except for Dan.
That's right. Actually,
Undefeated.
You're the most consistent, so
Perpetually defeated.
that counts for something.
Unvictorious.
473 million. Where you had great hits like Smurf the Lost Village, Snatched, Atomic Blonde, Dunkirk, and Cars 3. Colby, you came in third. Another middle of the road performance. Congratulations.
It's my middle name. Colby, middle of the road.
I know. Matt, the winter's winner, came in second, and our champion, and congratulations to him, number one, $687 million. Phil is the winner of the 2017 Summer Movie League. I have a trophy on order. He will be receiving it when we draft for the Winter League. So congratulations to Phil and all our players for participating. Did you guys do as well as you thought you would?
I mean, I did as well as I've come to expect I would. It's very weird that this is like. I feel like both Dan and I have done exactly and performed exactly the same all 3 times,
Basically.
which is confusing.
Basically.
I feel like I tried to do things differently, but maybe I did the same thing.
I felt that I tried to do things differently too. I had 2 big names that I thought were big names. I thought Dunkirk would do. I guess Dunkirk did okay, but I thought Cars 3 was going to do better.
Yeah, Cars 3. The question was it going to be more like Cars or more like Cars 2? And it ended up being more like Cars 2. It didn't rebound as well. You know, you had the 151 out of it. Last summer's big Pixar movie, which was Finding Dory, did 483 million. So it for Pixar, not a good result. So. And Colby, once again, you know, you followed kind of the strategy you did last summer, which was the bulk. You bought more movies than anyone else. And in that you didn't. Girls Trip was, and Colby, by the way, you kind of won a sort of award, which is you got not only the best but also the second best values of the year, because you paid $11 for The Boss Baby, $174 million, and you paid $8 for Girls Trip, which got $112 million. So some of the better values of the year.
Go me.
But really what I think it comes down to, not to get too much into the strategy of this, but I think the reason Phil won is because of the sort of, I think it was of the top 3 or 4 highest grossing movies of the year, he had a couple of, the problem is they were all spread out. And that's why Matt got so close with Wonder Woman, but he didn't have a follow-up movie. Sarah had Guardians of the Galaxy, didn't have a follow-up movie. Mike had Fate of the Furious, didn't have a follow-up. Because Phil could get Pirates and Spider-Man and War for the Planet of the Apes, that's what put him over the edge. If Matt had just gotten with Wonder Woman, which was the highest-grossing movie of the summer, 409, all it would have taken is just one other good movie, and it would have put him over the top.
Gotcha.
But it was also the lowest-grossing summer we've had in a couple of years. So overall, not big box office numbers. And I will say this is also the closest spread of players we've had in the 3 times we've done this, where it's not like no one had a runaway success. The margin was much closer.
Right.
So.
Well, maybe that means that we're all getting better or something.
Maybe. I think it's entirely possible. And we did see some different strategies. I mean, I gave Sarah a lot of credit. She only spent $73. She kind of put it all in on Guardians, which didn't work out, but at least it was an interesting strategy.
Yeah.
Now we're going to have an interesting...
When do I get to watch that movie?
Which one?
Guardians of the Galaxy.
It's out. Yeah, you can... It's out for digital purchase. I don't know if it's out for...
It is?
Yeah, but I don't know if it's out for digital rental yet. Usually they wait a little while.
I haven't seen Wonder Woman yet.
That is out for digital purchase, not digital rental. I'm waiting because I want to see that as well.
Really?
Yeah.
Man, these things, it feels like these things are coming out fast. Those are just out in May.
Yeah, that's about how long it takes, about 3 to 4 months.
So I have a last topic for just random bullshit.
Yes. Can I just say one last thing on the movie league before we move on, which is we will be doing the 2017 Winter Movie League starting late October, early November. Pay attention to @UpForDebate TV. We'll be tweeting when that comes out. We've got a lot of big movies. We've got a couple of big Marvel movies. Biggest movie potentially of the year, Last Jedi, is coming out around Christmas. It's going to be an interesting league, so you're going to want to check that out then. Yes, go ahead, Colby.
So I last time we did the show, I feel like it was the first time, maybe the second time I did the show from this new apartment. First time that I'd done it from my desk set up in the new apartment. And I remember at the end of the episode thinking, like, oh, wow, I should really, like, make my bed the next time. I look like a total slob. And now I'm just realizing not only did I not make my bed, but there's, like, just a box full of alcohol on my bed, which is weird.
Right.
Which you sleep with every night. You cuddle
Oh,
with.
yeah. Right.
It's the only thing in the world that shows you love.
Yes. So next time I'm gonna try and have a more pristine backdrop for our.
Man, all of our audio listeners never would have known, Colby.
They gotta go to youtube.com/don'tpanicshow.
I should have kept my mouth shut.
I think it needs to be a running gag where each time there's something different in your bed. Like one time it's like a stuffed bear, and then another time it's just like a knife, and you're like, what is going on in Colby? Like we try and figure out what's going on in Colby's life. It's like a ham sandwich. What is?
You can have a meta podcast just about that.
Oh my god, that's like our. You know how they do like the Chris Hardwick talking about post shows like after Walking Dead, and we need to do that for this show. Talking Don't Panic, and we're like, did you guys see in the background what is going on in Colby's bed?
Okay?
This is crazy, dude. He's out of his mind.
Now here we go. That's another good podcast idea. Here's a podcast where the podcast is ostensibly a normal podcast, but there's actually like a hidden story within that podcast that is never made explicit, and you have to figure out through like subtle cues and stuff. Like, all the serial people would lose their minds over something like that. You could have all this like post-show environment grow up around it. I think we have our next big hit. NPR, you know where to find us.
Well, and live watching on Facebook right now, Katie Adams says, Colby, you should keep your bed that way. It's more authentic. And she also says that her and Kaylee, friends of the show, friends of ours, they're going to start a podcast where they watch this podcast and talk about it. So, you know, we would love the attention. We currently don't get enough, so we're whores for it. So by all means. And on that note, if you're watching live, that's fantastic. We're live right now on Facebook at facebook.com/don'tpanicshow, as we are nearly every Monday night at around 10 p.m. Eastern. If you're watching live and have something you want to say, a thought you want to share live on the air, give us a call on the phone number 508-644-TECH. That's 508-644-8324. Give us a call. Join us on the stream.
Wow, we have a phone number?
Stop that.
It's on the website.
I get really bummed out when I get my credit card statement and there's that like $10 fee Skype charges me every 3 months for it, and I'm like, someone needs to call the fucking phone number. So call the phone number if you've got something to say.
Speaking of the phone number, I was home in Rhode Island for a couple of days this weekend, and I brought my Don't Panic tote bag with me because I needed to tote some shit. And my mom was like, wow, I really like that tote bag. And I was like, gee, Mom, maybe if you listen to this show, you know that Sean gives them away.
I do, and I'd be happy to send her one. All she's got to do is she's got to call in or she's got to tweet us at Don't Panic Show. Is your mom on Twitter, Colby?
Twitter? You don't even know if your own mom's on Twitter? What kind of son are you?
My guess is no, because no anonymous people named Beth follow me on Twitter.
Do you know all of your Twitter followers? Do you like? Okay.
Most of them are bots.
Right. Obviously.
At least 50%.
Very good. We've gotten all that out of the way, but the one thing we haven't gotten out of the way is the real reason we're here, which is to talk about the week's tech news. And we have some this week, which is interesting and exciting. While you guys are looking at the rundown and deciding what we're going to talk about first, I want to let everyone know next week is the big Apple announcement on Tuesday. Maybe in a little bit we'll talk about maybe a preview of that. But we will have full coverage next week. We haven't decided on the schedule yet for next week. If we end up doing the show on Monday, we'll have full coverage the following week. We might be doing the show on Tuesday, though, so we'll give you wall-to-wall coverage. Keep an eye on the Facebook page at facebook.com/Don'tPanicShow, or follow us on Twitter at Don't Panic Show. We'll tweet with the schedule so you can check out the full wall-to-wall coverage on the new iPhone. We got Apple Watches, Apple TV. It's going to be a jam-packed event. Guys, where do you want to start on the rundown?
It's going to be a real hoot.
It's going to be a gangbusters of announcements. Gangbusters new product. And Sean's, who has two thumbs and is getting a new iPhone, this guy. So I'm pretty jazzed.
Nice.
I'm pretty excited to exercise the monthly fee iPhone upgrade thing that I've been doing for the last year.
You paid for it, so use it.
Yes, that was literally the whole point.
So guys, where do we got Fitbit in here? We've got Amazon Whole Foods, Microsoft and Amazon.
Colby seemed excited about the new Fitbit watch, so I'll humor him.
I don't know if I'm excited exactly.
Well, I think Colby's going to be the ultimate judge here because he is a Pebble user. And this really, I mean, Fitbit is targeting him. He's the target consumer. So Colby, tell me if this sounds interesting to you. Fitbit announced this week their new Fitbit Ionic, which I keep wanting to say iconic, but it's not. It's Ionic, like those old Ionic air fresheners that didn't actually do anything. It is a smartwatch from the company. Let me give you some stats here. It looks like a smartwatch, so it's this little screen on your wrist. Built out of lightweight aluminum. It includes GPS, Bluetooth, and Wi-Fi. It's got on the back both a heart rate sensor and an oxygen sensor to check your body oxygen. It will come in a couple different colors, silver, gray, and orange. Most interestingly, two big features on the watch. One, an app store powered by the technology they purchased when they got Pebble. They say it's going to be relatively easy to build via their SDK, and they will be launching with a few select apps, including Pandora and Starbucks, and eventually you'll be able to add new apps through the app gallery. Also, it is launching with Fitbit Pay, which you may remember Fitbit purchased the company Coin, which made those all-in-one credit cards that I was stupid enough to buy one of that never actually worked. Remember them?
I don't remember that.
So you will be able to pay with the Ionic using Amex, MasterCard, or Visa via NFC. It's also got a bunch of the fitness stuff, including their Fitbit Coach, which does all different kinds of fitness stuff, and then that's where they use the oxygen saturation monitor and the heart rate monitor, and so on. They say it will last up to 10 hours while using the GPS, 4 days without it, and it will be available for the grand total of $299.95 sometime in October. How does that sound?
Wait, how long did you say the battery was? 10 hours?
With the GPS on while exercising, they say 4 days in just regular use.
I see.
It's longer than an Apple Watch.
Very true.
That's true.
But see, the Apple Watch only has to make it through 1 day. At that point, like, I don't think there's any point in having... Oh, like, it's nice if the watch lasts longer, but 99% of the time I'm going to be charging it every night anyways.
Yeah. I don't know. Fitness focus turns me off because, like, if we're being honest, I'm not fitness focused.
I would challenge that, though. And Dan, you'll have to tell me this because I don't own an app. Isn't the Apple Watch kind of fitness focused too, though? At least the announcements and marketing would lead me to believe that.
The marketing certainly is, yeah, especially recently.
True. I feel like the
Apple Watch has more non-fitness features than this, as described, does, and certainly than a regular Fitbit does.
I mean, on the other hand, pretty much the only thing I use my Pebble for is like the step count, and to look at the time and get notifications. So I guess that I'm sure this does that. It does. I haven't looked if there's like a video or anything. It seems less whimsical, which bums me out.
What was whimsical for you about the Pebble?
Their whole like UI and all the animations in between things were super fun.
Stuff
I know.
whooshed everywhere.
They were fun and
There's
cartoony.
lots of whooshing.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
It was really nice. It was like a comic book, sort of like a fun children's comic book on my wrist. And I like that. It was novel, anyways. I don't know. I'm certainly not going to buy one of these instead of an Apple Watch. Like if I'm going to go spend $300 on a watch, it's
Yeah, how much was it again?
300, and that
Oh,
comes
yeah.
with, just to note, that it uses a proprietary watch strap. So it comes with a plastic
the strap.
band. You have to pay $60 additionally if you want leather.
Eek.
Yeah.
Is it plastic or is it Europolythyrene, as Johnny I would say, or whatever? What was it?
It's whatever baloney petroleum-based material that they use in their current Fitbit products.
Okay.
What
What
is
was polyastomer or God? That's gonna bother me.
Yeah, it's elastomer,
What was
some kind of
the-
elastomer.
Yeah, man.
You look.
I
that
feel
up
like
in
Sean
Russia.
should know. He's our resident plastics expert.
I'm out of that
It's
biz now,
true.
Colby. That's my
Yeah,
old life.
if you're not following OMG Roofing on Instagram, you missed a great baseball game this weekend.
Oh, go Hartford Yard, go! Oh shit, I should have worn. I got a
That's
hat.
right.
I should have
Also,
worn the hat.
like, what's the deal with that name?
Oh,
The
well,
Hartford
Goat?
Yard
I
Goats?
actually do know the answer. If you would like to know.
Yes, I do.
So apparently, a yard goat is a small train that lives in a train yard, and you connect it to other trains to like rearrange the trains. It's the yard goat. Now, A, what that has to do with Hartford, I'm not sure. B, what that has to do with minor league baseball, I'm not sure. And C, what that has to do with their mascot, who is an actual goat, I am not sure. But they are the Hartford
Well,
Yard
there
Goats.
are other things like that, right? The Steelers. Their
Oh.
mascot is an actual Steeler.
I don't know who their mascot is. Who is the Steelers mascot? I feel like I should know.
I could be wrong.
Well, the Yard Goats.
It is. It's just not on there. And who's the Oilers? That the Houston Oilers?
Well, they don't exist, but yeah, their logo was an oil derrick.
It was.
I don't know who their mascot was, but the Yard Goats wasn't always their name. They used to be, and I'm looking up their old name, the Rock Cats.
That's right. I could have told you that.
Oh, well, okay,
The minor league pride of Connecticut.
that's right. That is true.
And they had these stupid commercials that kept saying how much the Rock Cats rock, but everyone just said the Rock Cats suck.
and the Yard Goats suck. So the
I heard they're
nickname-
not that bad this year.
Well, they finished about 500, so they're average. And I watched them play the Pawtucket Sox. And
the Paw Sox?
the Paw
Shit,
Sox,
dog.
and they're actually decent. And they were, the Yard Goats were terrible, but that's okay. Beautiful park, Dunkin' Donuts
Now-
Park, beautiful.
Yeah, I was reading an article about the Yard Goats, and they were talking about how different Major League Baseball teams have like their own
Affiliates.
like empire of minor league teams.
Yes, the farm
multiple.
system. Yep.
Multiple. Okay. All right. I was just checking my
Yeah.
understanding.
Do you know which team the Hartford Yard Goats is the affiliate of?
Nope.
Well, that
Is
would
it
be
the Yankees?
No, it would be your Colorado Rockies.
Really?
Yes.
All the way in Connecticut?
Yeah, they don't. The system makes no
That's
sense.
crazy.
That happens all over.
I always assumed it was like geographically correlated, but that was just based purely on my sample of one, the aforementioned Pawtucket Red Sox.
Nope, not usually.
That's crazy. I had no idea.
And they share the name with their team that they're affiliated with, the Pawtucket Sox.
Not always, but in this case they do.
In this case, they do.
Yeah.
Fascinating. Well, you'll have to tune into our new minor league baseball podcast to learn more. Sadly, we have to get back to tech news.
Sadly,
We should just have a Twitter that tweets out all the podcast ideas we come up with.
Oh yeah. So that someone else we don't have time
Right.
for all of these. We only have time to make the ones we know are going to be really successful.
Yeah. We're going just for the home runs, not the base hits. It's a baseball reference. Anyway, that's the Ionic. It's coming in October. Personally, just to get my 2 cents in, until iOS opens up more control to third-party developers, I don't know why you would buy another watch other than the Apple Watch. It's never going to work as well as the Apple Watch. No matter what they do, no matter what geniuses are behind, you can have the best people in the world, it's never going to work as well. And unless it's half the price, there's no reason to buy this.
Right. I feel like the Pebble they had two things going for it. One, it was, originally it was the only thing that existed, but like later it was less expensive and the battery lasted for so long. I guess this does have like half of the battery. Right, well, it's like 4 days is half a week.
Yeah, the I think the maximum amount a Pebble would get. You're right. I think mine was quoted at like 10 days, although I've never gotten that. So
yeah.
But I also think Pebble had going for it too, that it was kind of the cool programmer tech Kickstarter watch. Like, I feel like by going to a Fitbit brand, it's like it doesn't connect with fitness in the same way Pebble connected to that community.
And it did. I mean, the article suggested they have the same like. They've incorporated the SDK that Pebble had been working on, but I can't see like the warm fuzzies that made me want to do stuff for my Pebble are not there on this, and I don't know. Like, I feel like that's not that goodwill is not a thing you can just purchase, unfortunately,
and very important for developers. Because I don't know what developer is going to, with the Apple Watch, it's not the end of the world to extend that out to the Apple Watch, but I don't know what developer is going to go. Is Overcast going to go out of their way to make a player for this thing?
No.
I don't think so.
No.
At least with Pebble, it was kind of cool because the tech was interesting. But
yeah, the only reason any of these companies are making apps for it is because they're paid a lot of money.
True.
Right? Like, Starbucks doesn't just, for me, a good barometer of whether a company is paid to make an app is if they have an app in the Windows Phone App Store. If they do, it's either Facebook or a company that was paid to put their app on Windows Phone by Microsoft.
Yeah.
Good news is Windows Phone Store won't last long. So
it won't.
No, because they're ending support for Windows Phone. It's not going to be a thing anymore. There was a great article today or this week that the New York City Police Department bought 30,000 Windows phones like 2 years ago, and now they have to replace them all with iPhones because they don't.
Oh no!
They're not going to work anymore. Good job. Yeah. All my colleagues in Europe were still using them as of a few months ago.
I guarantee it's because the New York City Police Department had an Exchange server running, and they're like, "We have to get a Windows Phone to work with the Exchange server."
Yep, probably. Fools. Exchange server works great on iPhone. Okay, anyway, let's continue on here. More tech news in the rundown, guys. What are we looking at here?
Oh, Whole Foods prices.
Whole Foods prices. I'm excited because Whole Foods was a little out of control.
So one thing I realized sometime in the last year or so is like, how there's that phrase like you don't know the price of a gallon of milk or something. I don't know how much things cost, like, at the grocery store. I have no idea. I was at the grocery store once, and I was, like, picking out limes, and some lady was like, the limes are really expensive. And I was like...
Never thought about
really?
that.
Oh, yeah. It's not that I couldn't know. It's just that I don't know. Like, I just choose not to...
Right. That's not a part of my life that I'm optimizing at all.
Yeah.
But Colby, you don't want to go down the street and save 5 cents on your limes?
Well, here's the thing, and here's the other thing. In a city, like, there is no down the street. Like, there's the grocery store that you live close to, and then there's the grocery store that you don't live close to, right? So if you have a car and you're driving around the suburbs, like, yeah, maybe it makes sense that you're going to drive to a Stop and Shop. Maybe you'll drive to Trader Joe's also. Like, not that big of a deal. But when you're walking and carrying everything that you just bought, like, no, it's like the calculus doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
Well...
was I talking about Trader Joe's while we were recording or not recording?
No. I don't remember.
I don't know. In any case, I could walk to Whole Foods, and it's only like 5 to 7 minutes farther than Trader Joe's is. So I want to know if that's
an eternity in grocery time, though. groceries.
That's
how long it
true.
takes me to get to my grocery store is 5 to 7 minutes. But if I was to double that, no way.
Unfortunately, the route to Whole Foods, I'm pretty sure like there's a 50% greater chance that someone will try and talk to you along that route too, which is like a pretty big demerit. So it'd have to be some serious cost saving.
Well,
Yeah, so I in my last apartment, I lived probably 10 minutes from a Whole Foods and maybe 5 minutes from like a shitty off-brand New York grocery store. And if I was doing something important with food, so not just making dinner for myself, but maybe making dinner for other people, maybe making a special kind of dinner, I would go to Whole Foods and it was fine, and I would just do all my shopping there that week. But otherwise, I wasn't such a zealot that I had to go to Whole Foods all the time. But I wasn't particularly offended by the prices because the produce, on average, was better. Like sometimes you can find, fresh produce in other grocery stores. It just seemed to be more consistent there. But yeah, these prices. So Sean, will you go to Whole Foods now?
So where I live, we don't have Whole Foods. That's not a thing. No, that's not true. No, the nearest Whole Foods would probably be about 20 to 30 minutes.
Okay.
Would be the nearest Whole
Foods.
Foods.
Like a commitment.
I go to Randall's Farm, which is the locally owned. Colby's been there. The locally owned.
Is that the place we got sandwiches?
The place we got the sandwiches.
That place was good.
That place was dope, and they got great fruit and the delis. They make good potato salad. But I used to go to Whole Foods when I lived in Houston, and I actually drove about 20 minutes to go to Whole Foods there, just because I really I like the stuff there. The problem I always had with Whole Foods was not the price; it was the selection. Because I'm really picky about what I eat, and when you go to like a regular supermarket, they have like 20 kinds of chips. But when you go to Whole Foods, they have like 2 kinds of chips.
That's true.
I am picky about certain branded things, like my non-butter spread. Like I'm only interested in eating Smart Balance, and Whole Foods is like Earth Balance or whatever knockoff they have is not the same, and I don't want to eat it. But luckily, most of the things I feel that way about are things that you don't have to buy very often. So like I can go to whatever hipster grocery store on the regular and then like do my once a month trip to get like toilet paper and buttery spread.
So speaking of toilet paper and buttery spread, at your Whole Foods, do they sell like, random kitchen supplies like toilet paper and dish soap and things like that?
I think so. I bought dish soap. I have dish soap from Whole Foods right now.
The ones in New York do not. They don't have room for that. It's food only. If you want to get anything else, you have to go to some other store. And there are many grocery stores that operate this way. So that required I know this is the most fascinating episode of the podcast we ever had, but that
I know, our tough lives. It's so hard being us, Dan. People don't realize what we go through.
That required a big adjustment in my grocery shopping habits when I moved to the city.
Yeah. Well, the Trader Joe's doesn't have those.
I'll just get trash bags at the grocery store when I go grocery shopping. Nope.
Well, but you see, since I used to, in Houston, I had a Target right down the street, so I'd go to Target. But the Target here is farther away and kind of crappy to get to. I've moved all that to Amazon. I've moved all the toilet paper, cleaning supplies, trash bags, all that has just gone Prime Pantry, and I haven't been to a Target in like 2 months.
Do you do the subscription thing? Like,
I wish one of these days I'm going to try it. I just fear I don't use enough of it. Because
that's my fear
even
too.
Prime Pantry, I don't order often. Like once a month, I'm placing that order.
That's like, I wish they would set it up so it was like, you trained it to learn your cadence, where it was like for I don't know 6 months or something, you like or manually order toilet paper or whatever, and then when you need more, you like order again, and eventually it learns how often you need toilet paper, and then just sends it to you. That would be cool.
I would even take the deal where I put my hand up and I say, Amazon, I agree to pre-buy 6 of these or 12 of these. I will put up the money and I will do it. Just let me choose when you deliver it. And then I just click the send. I say, Alexa, send me another one of blank, and then she just sends it, and I've already paid for it, and it's not a big deal, and I get a discount because I bought it in bulk. Even that I'd be okay with. And that's like the better Costco, because then I don't have to store all the bulk stuff. Amazon stores it in its warehouse. So I get the bulk price without having to store all the bulk stuff. That makes sense. But anyway, the reason we're talking about all this, Amazon officially acquired Whole Foods. It went through. They're the owners now. Congratulations. Good for them. Amazon announced what customers can expect to change at Whole Foods, starting with lower prices on what they call best-selling grocery staples, such as organic eggs, bananas, butter, salmon, ground beef, and avocados. They also announced that Amazon Prime will eventually replace Whole Foods' current customer rewards program and will offer Prime members additional savings. Also, Whole Foods' private label 365 brand will be available for order via Prime Pantry, Prime Now, Amazon Fresh, and Amazon.com.
Private
Also,
label.
Yes, they're sort of.
That sounds like a
brand.
wine brand.
That's 365.
Yes. The Chardonnay private label.
Label.
Isn't that just another? Is that a fancy name for the store brand?
Yeah, a private label is when a company that manufactures doesn't put their own name on it. Instead, they use it. My company does that. So we make the screws, but you would buy them under another company's name. Private labeling.
Sure. Okay.
Amazon lockers will also be placed in some Whole Foods stores where customers can pick up online orders or place them in lockers for returns. This is just a start. I saw some reports online that obviously the prices are different in different places, but seeing a couple bucks cheaper on some things depending on what you were looking at. But noticeable differences in the price. Like I saw one item went from like $3.49 to $1.49. So they're noticeable price drops.
Slight digression. I got an email today that there was one of those. I forget what they're called. We talked about it on the show in the past. It's like the thing the instant, the 2-hour delivery pickup
Prime Now.
thing.
Amazon Prime Now, yeah.
But the thing where you go to like the Amazon convenience store thing and like pick it up. At college campuses. There's one down the street.
We talked about that last week, didn't we? Or 2 weeks ago?
Yeah. There's one. It must be at BU because it's down the street on ComApp. But I got an email like, you can do this now.
Are you gonna do it?
I don't know. I probably should. We can talk about it on the show. I have to figure out where it is first, and then maybe I'll do it.
So did you see the picture of the Amazon Echoes in the Whole Foods, Sean?
I did. That was another. They're putting up display tables and they're shilling. Did you see all the meat displays where they shaped the meat into the Amazon logo or the Prime logo?
Yeah, I feel like that was just an employee having fun.
It was, and Amazon came out and said they didn't tell them to do that. But I think that's neat.
Yeah. But oh god, the Echo thing was so dumb. Like,
I think
that's
cool.
It was in a display that was clearly meant for like produce. It was like today's fresh catch or something like that. Amazon Echo, $99.99. It's like, I don't buy anything in a grocery store that's $99.
Synergy, Dan, synergy.
But no, like, I mean, I guess grocery stores have probably been selling, like, certainly back in the day they were selling iPods probably. But I don't go to a grocery store. My mind is not, I'm not in the mood to spend $100 on something. Well, certainly not when they raise the price back up to $150 or $200 or whatever it normally is.
But there's a reason. But there's a reason why they put trashy magazines and candy bars at the checkout. It's because your mind isn't thinking and you grab them.
Those are cheap.
Well, we're talking Whole Foods customers here, Dan. I mean,
$99 for one line item is still expensive for a Whole Foods customer, unless you're buying like just foie gras in bulk or something.
That does sound like something you do at Whole Foods.
I mean, maybe you can, but Amazon probably refuses to sell foie gras. You'd have to buy like just the best cut of beef, and maybe that would be like $40 a pound or something. That's as close as you get. You have to get prime beef for a family of 5. Anyways, sorry. That one made me angry.
No,
everything else fine. Like, reduce the prices, but that was not a good look.
All right.
At least for maybe, but I have been shown to be weird in the past. So
I'm just glad to know where you draw the line. They've gone too far in the eyes of Dan Miller.
Yep.
Enough is enough.
Yeah.
Good. Well, we'll keep an eye on that. We have time for. We've already gone through 45 minutes. Damn it.
Yeah. Well, we have to talk about next week. We have to talk about the iPhone.
Do we want to tease the event?
Yeah, absolutely. I don't even really know. I haven't been caught up on this stuff.
All
There's a new
right.
iPhone. That's about all I know.
Well, here we go. Apple's event, Tuesday, September 12th. Their invitation says, let's meet at our place. And the reason it says that is because this will be the first event held at their new
Right.
spaceship campus inside the Steve Jobs Theater, the custom theater they built on site to hold these types of events in Cupertino. What will we get there? Well, obviously, the big headline is the next iPhone 8. Who knows what it'll be called? We've talked about on the show many times what we expect to see: edge-to-edge OLED display, 3D face scanning camera, wireless charging, in addition to many other things.
Wireless charging?
Wireless charging, absolutely. Induction, most likely.
Of all those things, that's the thing I'm still most excited about. And I remember us talking about this at the last iPhone event.
So ready.
I'm gonna buy so many chargers.
Oh, they're gonna get.
My entire house is gonna be inductively charging everything. Every surface.
Maybe someday we'll be able to inductively charge ourselves, like instead of sleeping or something.
Right.
Just touch the wall. Just like, oh, I'm tired. Lean on the wall for a minute, and then.
This is the future we've all been
shooting
for.
Wow. Deep.
Sean is.
I'm very confused.
Sean is.
I'm just trying. I know. I'm just
there with
imagining
us.
Colby Rabideau, sci-fi writer. Like, could you imagine the future that's going on in Colby's mind? Like, dude, in the future, you used to be able to touch the walls, and then it's like, whoa, it's like an energy. It's like you had Red Bull. It's crazy. The walls will charge you up like your phone.
The walls give you wings.
Look, he's already branded it. Unbelievable. This guy.
Yeah, but seriously, when everything's inductively charging and so many things are inductive chargers, anything that's plugged into your wall could be an inductive charger. I think it's going to be interesting.
It's going to be awesome. But let me ask you a question. And this is, no one knows exactly what Apple will announce when it comes to this. There are rumors that there'll be the new iPhone 8 or whatever, but there'll also be updated versions of the current 7 and 7 Plus. So there'll be really 3 phones you can buy. But there's a question that Apple might add wireless charging to the iPhone 7 and 7 Plus versions, in addition to the new phone. If wireless charging is what you're most excited about, and you were getting a new phone, would you go for the current phones with wireless charging, or would you want all the other new features that come with the fancy phone?
I mean, if it's me, of course I want the new fancy phone with all the new features, right? Like, there's no scenario you could outline where you could say, but Dan, this phone has fewer features. I would be like, nope, doesn't matter. I want the other one. As for everyone else, first of all, I think that is extremely unlikely. I've never heard this rumor before. But Apple, when they do these 2-generation same body things, they keep the form factor exactly the same. I guess they could keep the Lightning port and still have inductive charging. I think that'd be weird, though. I think
that'll be the case in the fancy iPhone as well, because I think you need the.
So you got to plug your headphones into something.
No, you don't. Bluetooth.
Oh yeah. Oh my God! Imagine if they did that too.
They're not
That'd
doing
be
a portless phone.
That'd
They're
be a
not
lot
doing
at
a
one
portless
time.
I am putting my.
They're
not
doing
doing
a cordless phone.
They're not.
Oh,
They're
man.
not.
Cordless phone.
Oh,
Nope.
man.
Yeah.
Not a chance in hell. Absolutely.
I'm gonna take the long shot and say they're not doing a cordless phone, but they are getting rid of the lightning cable and bringing back the headphone jack.
Whoa! What, are they going to bring back 30-pin as well? I mean, come on. This is
no, so I'm not convinced that they'll do it this year. It's definitely going to happen. It's going to happen the next 2 years, for sure. But I think they could do it this year because it'll just be the super fancy iPhone Pro $1,200 starting price, and the people who are going to buy that phone are going to be willing to accept the inconvenience of having to figure out what their Bluetooth headphone story is.
I think the only reason I think they would add wireless charging to the 7 versions.
And like, if you're going to add wireless charging, you do like the appeal to Apple of being able to have a phone that is waterproof, that has no holes in it, has no moving parts, is going to be so like they can't resist that. Especially if they think it's not going to be their top-selling phone.
I think someday they'll get there. I don't think the next week is when they'll get there. Because I agree with Colby. It's headphones. There aren't enough of those wireless charging pucks around to to get rid of the convenience of a cable.
Well, you still have to. You have to bring your charger with you all the time, anyways. You can't just like.
I have 8,000 lightning cables all over my home, office, car, and anywhere else I spend time.
I know. But you could just as easily have 8,000 pucks. It's just going to take more time.
At
People said the same
$50
thing about
apiece.
30 pence. People said the same thing about 30 pence.
Do you think they'll update
not a good argument.
AirPods to like also be inductively charged?
I mean, they are.
No, but I mean the case thing, right? You still plug in the case.
Oh, yeah, maybe. That'd be cool.
I feel like if they are gonna get rid of the iPhone lightning cable, they got to get rid of the AirPods lightning cable too.
Yeah, that'd be cool. Especially if one puck could charge both things simultaneously. That'd be pretty
Cool.
dope.
Well, you know they're going to have the Puck, and then they're going to have the Puck Mini, and then they'll have the
Puck
Puck
Station.
Pro.
Yeah. No, but seriously, as soon as they can do it, they're gonna do it. And I think that the fact that, from what I understand, we know is that this new iPhone is going to not be like the iPhone 8. It's going to be a high-end thing, like the Apple Watch Edition, almost. Not really, but like something that you're not supposed to buy this one. This isn't supposed to be the phone for the average consumer.
Mm.
I think it's not possible, not likely, but possible. And if it's not going to be this year, I think it'll be next year. And if it's not going to be next year, I'm very confident it'll be the year after that. How long have we had the lightning cable for now? 5 years? 6 years?
Yeah, sounds about right.
Yeah.
It's been a while.
I would say
Time.
if next week they did come out with a phone without a lightning port, or really any kind of port, I would not buy it. So I'd be very portist, and I would not purchase it.
You'd be very what?
Portist, which is like racist, but for ports. Portist.
Oh, I see.
I'd be.
But it's like the opposite of racist, right? Like you want the ports.
Well, I guess it's racist.
You'd be a port
against
supremacist.
Episode title: Port
Yeah,
supremacist.
yeah.
Write that down. In addition to the iPhone, it's also expected that we might see a 4K Apple TV and Apple Watches that could feature LTE connectivity. We'll also see the recap of iOS 11 and High Sierra that we saw back in June and official dates on when those come out.
Always the most exciting part of the September Apple event is the condensed version of WWDC.
And then they always like throw in one or two bonus features they usually have to do with the new products. They kind of sneak them in there. But are we gonna jump on the either the 4K Apple TV, new Apple Watches, anything there?
I don't have a 4K TV, so I'm not going to 4K.
We talked about the new Apple Watch, so
Yeah. I definitely, I feel like I'm getting to the point where I want a watch upgrade and I can't get a new Pebble. So it could happen, though. It's going to depend on how much I have to fork over to get a new phone to I don't know, do the phone upgrade that I was convinced to do last year. So we'll see about that. We'll see. My Apple Watch might have to wait till next year, or the winter when I'm sad.
And you need material goods to perk you up. That's where love comes from. You can buy it.
Yeah. Right. This is America.
Capitalism at its best.
So 4K Apple TV. I also don't have a 4K TV. I'm not that excited about it. I think it needs to happen though. I don't know what else they could add to the Apple TV though that would make me excited, and I think that's fine. I like the Apple TV.
I think the Amazon app would make me excited about it, and
Netflix
shows showing up in the TV part would also make me excited.
Okay, yeah.
Which is like really those aren't Apple problem. Well, maybe they are, but
I will say, as someone who does own a 4K TV, watching Netflix originals and Amazon Video originals and movies in 4K, it looks really good. So if you have a 4K TV, this is very exciting. I am so excited to get like Wonder Woman and some of these movies in 4K that I did not catch in theaters. They're going to look banging. Anyway, as I mentioned, tune in next week where we will have full coverage of the Apple event right here on the program. We'll summarize everything you need to know and give our uninformed opinions on devices we haven't used. Now, we have to continue on to picks, which is the part of the show where we share some things.
Crap.
That's what most people say when we get to the segment. It's everyone's favorite segment, where we do one of these days. I've been waiting for us to phase out this segment, and we still haven't done it, which is kind of great. We'll keep doing it until we stop.
Yeah,
but we're gonna keep doing it today. So
I shoddy last.
Oh, fair enough. We'll do it in the order it is in the sheet. I'll jump in first. Wait, no, you have one in here. Or did Colby put it on the wrong line?
Oh, I put it on the wrong line.
There you go.
Yeah, that's a libel. That's an insult to my good name. I'm just kidding.
I will jump in right here while we're fixing all that up. I have an app. Well, actually, I'm going to do a smaller pick, which I'm just reminding everybody. I spent the last 2 weeks rewatching all of BoJack Horseman, which is one of my favorite shows of all time on Netflix, because the new season comes out next week. And I am so excited, and in the rewatch, it reminded me just how goddamn great that show is. So go watch that on Netflix before the new season comes out next week. In addition, Paprika. It's not just a spice, it's also an app you can buy. So Recipe Manager, I've been cooking a lot more, been collecting a lot of recipes. They kind of just live in Instapaper. It's not great. And then I have my own recipes that are like my mom's recipes and stuff. I was looking for a great way to centrally organize all of these, and I found this app called Paprika. What's really great about it is they have apps for all the devices, so it syncs really nicely between everything if you're using like an iPad in the kitchen and your phone and all that. My favorite feature is the web import. You open up a URL in the app in the web browser and you just hit save, and it scrapes the website and pulls out all of the information and saves it in the app. And it works like 99% of the time. It's very good, and I've tried a bunch of different websites, and they're very good about that. They have a lot of other stuff that I haven't really used, like smart. You can make a grocery list from the recipe, interactive recipes. So you can cross off things as you've done them, or click it'll say 30 minutes, and you tap it and it starts a 30-minute timer. So it's got a lot of features built into it. I haven't used all of them. Like I said, mostly just use it for the sync, for the web import, and it's just a really easy app to use. It's a lot more powerful than what I use it for now. It's on iOS, Android, Mac, and Windows. It is not free. It is $5 on mobile devices, on mobile OSs, and it is $20 on desktops. But for the $5, it is, for me, worth it. I keep all my recipes in there, and it's a really great app. So you should check it out. It's paprikaapp.com, or look for it on your respective app store. All right, Colby, what do you got? You got a Netflix original here for us?
Indeed. I just before we started the show, I finished up watching the new season of Wet Hot American Summer.
So Colby, I would never watch this show. So,
really?
Whoa!
I don't know. I know
dumb.
nothing about it. I know nothing about it. Just from the name alone, it's something that I would look at and have looked at and was been like, no. So why should I watch it?
So it was a movie in the 80s or something, or the 90s.
Yeah.
The 90s. And it's very silly. And then they made a show.
Yeah,
there was a season of the show, right? That was on Netflix. It was very silly in the same way that the movie was. And then they made a new season that is 10 years. So the new season is called Wet Hot American Summer 10 years later. It is also very silly. I feel like part of the appeal is it's all the actors and actresses in it are now famous people. It's
Bradley Cooper, Amy Poehler, Michael Ian Black.
Rudd, right, all kinds of people who are doing real things, and they were in this silly cult classic movie about a summer camp in the 90s. And they keep coming back to do it. Apparently, I'm sure they got paid well, but I don't know. It's fun. It's not going to change your life, I don't think. But if you're going to watch it, you should go back and watch the movie, and then watch the you should watch all the things. Yeah. Otherwise, it won't. And I feel like
it won't make any sense. You will not enjoy it as much. I guarantee.
Yeah. But it was fun. It's quite light. It's fun to see all the famous people from other things being silly and continuing to take this sort of silly thing farther. So if you like it, definitely watch it. If you have never heard of it, go back and watch the rest of it. It's not that big a commitment either. It's
No,
like two seasons.
Well,
right.
yeah, the
It's a
first
mo-
one's a 90-minute movie, so
Right. A movie and 2 seasons of a TV show. Not long seasons, like 8 episodes too. It's totally achievable.
yeah. And I'll double down on top of that even more because on Netflix, when they announced the first sequel series, and they put the movie up on Netflix, they also added a behind-the-scenes documentary that they put together because a bunch of the actors like shot home video while they were shooting the original movie, and it's actually a really good. Watch the movie, then watch the doc, and then watch the series because the documentary. It's very short. It's only like 30 minutes, but
I haven't
funny?
watched the documentary yet.
The documentary is funny. Oh,
the original.
Oh, the movie's very
Is
funny.
it like a funny? Oh, okay, it's a comedy.
It's very
movie.
over the top.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's like
Zany?
It's yes, zany is a good word. It's I would say silly. It's sort of like slapsticky, goofy, over the top, as Sean said.
Cool.
Check that out on Netflix.
It might be a thing that's better to watch with other people.
Mm.
It's possible that it's more fun with people.
All right, very good. Dan, you now have a pick for us,
That's right.
and what would that be?
Well, I meant to pick this a long time ago and I forgot, and then I already told Colby about it when I saw him recently. So it's a bit of so Colby, you've already heard about this, but everyone else, prepare yourself. So, do you use Slack at work? Sean, say yes, just for argument's sake.
Why, yes, I do, Dan.
Do you ever step away from your desk and then forget that you didn't set your status, so people think that you're here but you're not, or if you want to tell people where you are, like you're out for lunch or you're out for the day or you're out sick or you're on vacation, you forgot to update your Slack status.
Well, Dan,
You don't want to open up the Slack app.
Dan,
Such a hassle.
if I knew that Slack had statuses, I would definitely consider this a problem.
Right. So you don't want to open up the app. It's like open up your inbox. You open it up.
Foolish.
You're on vacation. You're going to get pulled in. You're going to
Terrible.
start doing work. What if there was a iOS widget? Ready? This is like the only use of a widget I've ever had. iOS widget shows up right next to your notifications, and you can just set a selection of different statuses that you want to set in it, and they show up. You just press them, and boom, sets your status. So you can configure. Yes, Sean?
Dan, I would expect an app of this caliber to cost easily $300.
Well, good news. It's completely free because my friend at work.
What?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, crazy,
But there's got to
right?
be
What
a catch.
Value. No catch. The only catch is you have to have an iOS device.
The other catch is your company's Slack has to allow you to OAuth things, which mine does not, so I can't use this because I can't have nice things. I don't understand what the point of having Slack is if you can't have any fun with Slack. I've said it before, I'll say it again, I'm sure.
Yeah. So I have things that like going to lunch, in the subway, out sick, on vacation, in a meeting. Yeah, so I use it all the time. It's great. Solved the real problem. Super simple. I now use iOS widgets, so that's cool.
Neat.
Yeah.
Cool. Check
Check
it out.
a status switcher on the iOS store.
Very good. A nice set of picks we got there for the folks at home. But that concludes this episode. We're done. We are out of time. And that is that. But thanks, everybody, for joining us. We appreciate it, as always. Hope you had as much fun as we did. This is Don't Panic. Our website, of course, don'tpanic.io. All the episodes are there. Audio, video, the picks as well. We got all the links to those. If you don't remember what we talked about, the links will be there. Video version, as we mentioned, at youtube.com/don'tpanicshow. Looks great on that 4K TV. Even though we don't output in 4K, we only output in HD. Sorry. Someday we'll output. That's really what the people have been demanding. Why isn't Don't Panic in 4K? We're working on it. We're getting.
Are we working on it?
I actually might be able to. No, the mixer doesn't go up to 4K. No.
Damn.
No, but I'll look into that. I'll let you know. YouTube supports 4K, so YouTube will do it, but I don't think I can do it. We're crisp enough that no one needs to see that resolution of us.
Crisp AF.
You can also subscribe to the show anywhere you get podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Google Play Music, all the places that podcasts exist. We are there. You can subscribe, and of course, talk with us at Don't Panic Show on Twitter and don'tpanicshow@gmail.com are the websites, or is the email you need to know to reach out to us. Let's see. One other quick thing I'll tease as well, GameNights.tv. Later this week, we are publishing the conclusion to the Legend of Shaker Heights D&D adventure we've been doing seemingly forever. It is over. It ends in a way you will not expect. It will be a fun hour for you to listen and enjoy. Published later this week. Go to GameNights.tv, subscribe, get that episode when it comes out. We will be back next week. As we mentioned, we'll have Apple coverage. We'll have tech news coverage. It'll be a good time for all live at facebook.com/Don't Panic Show. That is it for tonight. On behalf of Colby and Dan, this is Sean. Thank you so much.